Facebook or something.
I don't know the Facebook part.
Oh,
I don't know the Facebook part at all.
okay.
Only because I don't really like, I don't use Facebook like at all.
Right.
Unless it's like I'm talking to like old friends or family or something like that. So
right.
I think that live like to.
So you probably have to turn that down or off or mute it.
what, Facebook?
The YouTube live.
Yeah. So I can see us on YouTube Live right now. So we are live on YouTube and we're going. So what's up? I am Shane Kesler. I'm the Chipotle market manager for Dallas Fort Worth, and I am here with the amazing Kevin Lewis. And Kevin, I'll let you talk about your background because you'll do it much better than I will.
Well, this is awesome. First of all, I'm the market manager for the Orlando area, and we're talking about the NFL draft today. So, sadly, everybody, I wasn't drafted. So let's put that out there right there. So this day wasn't the same for me as it will be for a ton of these guys tonight. Going into the draft, my agent told me I could be a late, 6, 7 round pick, and then possibly, but it's always that. Any story someone gives you, if you're not like a top 20 guy, you'll hear all kinds of stories of what people were telling you. So you never really know. However, I never thought I'd get drafted or either way. Like I had no idea, never been through this experience. So it was, for me, it was like, hey, I'm gonna hang out with my family and and so we didn't have a party, we didn't have like a get together, none of that stuff. Like mom just cooked pretty much as usual and kind of hung out.
Wow, man. That's wild. Where'd you go to college?
So I'm a Duke alum.
Daddy, are you doing your office?
Hey!
Hey!
Shane, this is Asher.
Hey, Asher.
This is everything today. See?
You see
What's up, dude?
You. Say hi.
Hi.
And this is Miss Callie behind me. This is my
Callie, the tennis star. What's up?
Yeah.
I'm behind you. I'm behind you too.
So this is what this is work days for us now.
That's exactly right, man. This is a weird new normal, that's for sure.
Right. Yeah, that was my office door being closed, and it was closed before, but it just got kicked in.
Oh yeah.
So so I was a Duke alum. I played there. Actually, we had a great class coming out. One of the guys got drafted in the 4th round, and then I'm trying to think. I don't think anybody else got drafted, but it was like seven of us that ended up on opening day rosters from my class. So we had a real big class. What a lot of people obviously forget is, there are a ton of guys that play in the NFL that this day never happened for.
Hey, that's exactly right. Man, it's a pretty big deal. There's just not very many people drafted. But even after that, like you talk about all those free agents that are picked up after that, man, it's the roster spots start dwindling pretty quickly.
Absolutely, man. And I'll tell you what, like looking at this now and the situation we're in, I'm afraid of those guys, that group of guys like myself that received phone calls, right after the draft on, the second day. I got phone calls from Jacksonville and Tampa and then New York. And I had an opportunity to go into camp with either one of those teams. Like in this environment, that they had all worked me out, they had all, on my pro day, they had all seen me. They had had already spoken to me and all that stuff. Now that's not the case. I remember Sam, the Hall of Fame, great. Well, I don't even know if he's sure. I'm not sure if he's in the Hall of Fame, but he should be. Sam Mills. Remember that linebacker down in California? I mean, Carolina. He came and worked me out personally because he had just I think it was his second year coaching at that time, the linebackers with the Panthers, and he came down probably about 3 weeks before the draft, maybe two, and was like, hey, call me before that, like 2 days before, hey, I'm gonna be down at such and such a date, I want to work you out. And like he and I were on the field together. Like all that stuff is out. Obviously, like I told you, they weren't even in the mix when I was talking about going to camp, but still, like I had an opportunity to impress them. Like these guys don't have that opportunity. You're on mute. You just hit mute.
Oh yeah, that's right. Sorry. Yeah, man, that's crazy. And just to like hear the background, which we'll get more of your background throughout this whole thing because there's quite a bit of time in between picks that we'll get to. But so what the heck does Chipotle have to do with the NFL draft and with us and with the things that we do? So we run programs in our respective markets for Chipotle, and it's called the Real Food for Real Athletes program. And so essentially we're bringing nutrition education. We are bringing big time guys and big time programs, burritos, and trying to educate them on what proper nutrition looks like in terms of elite athletics. And not only for those programs that are like, hey, we're sending kids D1, we're trying to get everybody to understand that like what you eat and what you put in your body matters. And the way that you fuel yourself is going to immediately affect the way that your game is played. And so before this whole thing starts, Kevin, I want you to I'm going to eat. Pro tip, cut the top off of your bag because you can get in there a little easier. So I'm going to eat because it's dinner time for me. It's 7 o'clock. My wife is putting my baby down. And so I'm going to eat some dinner. Kevin's going to talk a little bit more about kind of what we do and how we do it and what we're doing with sports. And then this draft's going to kick off and we're going to have a lot to talk about. So Kevin, hit it, man.
Well, I mean, down here, it's awesome. We get an opportunity to share our story with kids. Myself, Shane, and Sarah are all former athletes. We all played sports at a high level, so we understood at some point of our career that what we start putting in our body, it directly affected our performance. And once we found that out, we easily stopped. We changed what we were putting in. It's so interesting. I was listening to a teammate. I had an opportunity to hear Michael Barrow speak, and he'll be actually I'll be interviewing him on Monday. But Michael Barrow was a linebacker, played at Miami, the U, when it was the U for real. Yeah. So, when it was the U for real. And MB was talking about, I heard him speak online, was something completely separate. And he said during the summer of his like 10th, going to the 11th grade year, he ate McDonald's every day. And he said he had a quarter pounder with cheese, a large fry, and a strawberry milkshake every single day. He said he would cut grass and do any kind of chores, run errands for people just so he could scrounge up enough money to go buy that every day. He said when he went and had a physical right before football season, because all football players know this, right in the summer, you're about to go get a physical because you have to give a physical to be eligible to play football. Yeah. Well, he goes in there and the doctor takes his blood pressure and he's like, what's wrong with you? Then he runs some blood work. He was like, oh my gosh, like, what are you eating? And he told him what he was eating. He was like, man, his blood pressure was sky high. His blood work was horrible. And he had to change his diet. And, you know, it was just amazing. That was just like a sidebar to how important your health is. And this is a guy that eventually became an NFL great, and who had to learn the hard way, hey, it's important what you're eating. So, as I talk to, getting back to Shane, myself, and Sarah, as we progressed in our careers and learned that it was important what we put in our bodies, we changed the way we ate. And fortunately, we all get the opportunity to go and talk to kids at a high school level for the most part on a daily basis about making dietary changes. And it's easy because they can still go get it quick. They can still feel like it's junk food, but it's super healthy. And that's with Chipotle. So we have an awesome opportunity that we get to do. And it's fun because you get to go in and talk to kids about athletics and share your story. And my story is obviously, I was a smaller linebacker who had to put weight on and keep weight on. So I had to pay attention to my diet. And so I'm telling them, like, I had to pay attention to my diet in high school, knowing that, man, like, I'm looking at the sizes and weights of the guys that are playing, in the other teams who are, the other teams that are really good. So I'm looking at the first team All-State players like that. And pretty much if you first team All-State in Florida, you kind of All-State in the country.
Oh, come on, man. I knew you was going to go there.
If you All-State here, All-State here equals All-American.
Come on, man. You know you got to be from Texas to be the real deal.
Well, I always tell people, however you want to do it, you can go from a collegiate standpoint or the pro standpoint. It doesn't matter. I don't argue with people. I just say, hey, look it up.
You can't argue with those facts either. I was a believer until you told me, hey, look up how many people from Florida's in the NFL. And I was like, man, it can't be more than Texas. We got way more people than you. Yeah, well, yeah, it ain't that way.
Yeah, it's so amazing, man. Like tonight, like I expect, what is it? 32 first round picks?
32 first round picks, yeah.
Maybe 8 of them will be from here.
Hey, man. Hey, I'm repping my home state. We ain't even gonna get one, but
well, I'm not talking about like what college they go to. I'm saying 8 of them will be from here. Heck.
I understand what you're saying.
I don't care where they go to college. So it was amazing, man, because playing here, like, and I didn't know this at the time, man. You honestly have no idea because the world was much bigger at that point when I was growing up. Now it's smaller because kids have access to all this stuff. So they can pull up what a kid in Arkansas is doing right now and watch his huddle and all that stuff. I didn't have an opportunity. So the only kids that mattered to you were the ones that you could get information about. And those kids, and through the, newspaper was the only way we could gather information. And so it was our all-state list. So when I'm noticing all the all-state lists, all the backers are like, at least 5'10" or better, and they're all 200 pounds or better. And then I'm sitting over here, at 170, 175. I'm like, that's a problem.
Hey, speed kills, my man. Speed kills. You're from Florida.
Right. But that's the thing. Like, nobody's slow. So
we need to get, I don't know if you got a TV on right now, but we need to get Roger Goodell on this Chipotle diet.
Oh, he's putting on a few pounds?
That man's putting on some pounds.
Right.
Roger, hit me up, homie.
He's a little stressed probably right now, too, with the, how the season's going to go.
He's freaking out, man.
And one of the things about this draft right now that I've been thinking about, and I talked to a friend of mine who has an athlete that, is a lot like myself, not a highly rated guy, has an opportunity to play, but is going to be on that fringe. And I said they should allow them to bring in more guys for these rookie mini camps. I said for the rookie mini camp and the OTAs, they should let them bring in more guys so that basically these guys are getting those workouts that they would have gotten before the draft, like myself. Because I said otherwise these guys will get no shot, man. Like, it's such a machine, and you're so already preparing for the upcoming season that you don't have that time to try a guy out. I mean, obviously they're bringing in guys weekly just to kind of try out, but it's not the same. You know what I mean? It's just not the same. And I think Roger Goodell, if he'd do a solid for each team, he'd let them, like, he'd blow up the numbers rule of how many, because then you can, who's going to be on the team fairly well, but then those fringe guys get an opportunity to beat some guys out, like myself.
Right. Man, it's going to be exciting. It's going to be exciting. So before this deal starts and we figure out who's actually going to be taking who, walk me through what you get at Chipotle while I'm eating mine.
What did I get?
What do you get? Because I know you and I know what you get, but the people watching this video may not know you.
Oh,
yeah. No idea how you eat.
So I eat clean. I love Chipotle. I actually crave it after workouts. It's the weirdest thing. Like, my wife's like, what? I'm like, yeah, I need to go get that now. So what ends up happening, I love to get a bowl. I always go with I like the lettuce at the bottom, the greens, the super greens. Actually, I get those at the bottom, and then I'll get the rice. It doesn't matter. I'll get white and brown, or a lot of both. It doesn't matter to me. And then I know everybody's a black bean guy, but I'm a pinto bean guy all day.
Oh, that's wrong.
I could do pinto and rice and be fine.
You are wrong for that.
Oh my goodness. And so I love pinto. So I go pinto, extra pinto, and then I'll move down the aisle and I'll go straight for the corn. I'll go straight for the tomato salsa. I'll get the fajitas and and the guac, and I'm done. And I know everybody's like, beef or steak, I skip it.
No, man. I ain't skipping that. I ain't skipping that.
Any of it. I skip it.
I'm getting all of it. Bring it on.
And my wife, when I get her bowl, she gets the same as me, except for she adds sofritas to hers.
Man, I love the sofritas. They're so good.
But I don't even, man, the stuff, man, it tastes so good to me. I think that for me, the protein messes it up. And people forget, like, they just call the meat protein, but the beans are protein as well. So
yeah, you're right. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, he doesn't eat meat. For everybody watching, he don't do meat. He's a weirdo.
I do meat. I'm eating meat in front of you, so you know that's wrong. I just eat mostly plant-based.
Barely.
One meal a day.
1 day a week. Yeah. That's not eating meat.
One meal a week, I'll do some meat.
No way. No way. Hey, man, you got a TV on right now? You watching this?
No, I'm doing the online tracker.
Okay.
Yeah.
They keep bringing up guys like GMs and coaches and owners and guys that are like virtual. It's just weird. It's weird not seeing them like in a big war room and all that.
Well, I'm hearing about your boy locked himself in his house by himself and said, nobody don't bother me.
He don't want any help. We're talking about Jerry Jones from Dallas Cowboys. He don't want any help from anyone. He wants nothing. He wants to make all the decisions. He wants to make all the decisions himself. No, man. No. You need some help, Jerry.
Does that mean Dak's out of there?
No, Dak's a franchise guy. They're gonna pay him, man. They put up the Cowboys had the most yards. They were number one in offensive production last year, if I remember correctly.
Yeah,
That's wild, man.
Yeah, his numbers are surprisingly elite.
Yeah, well, you're gonna have to do better than making one game into the playoffs. It just ain't gonna work.
Well, yeah, but I mean, but everybody, it's funny to me how everybody, depending on who you are and who you're playing for, numbers either mean a lot or they don't mean anything.
Hey, here we go. Cincinnati Bengals are on the clock.
Well, I think this is a foregone conclusion. I think they still go with Joe Burrow.
They have to, man. They already let Andy Dalton go. They got no chance that they don't get a quarterback in there somewhere.
But I think they were nuts for not getting involved with the Dolphins and trying to really, because when you look at teams like that, man, one player is not going to do it for you.
No, but you still have to have one player to build your franchise around to know who he's clicking with and what he's not, because it ain't Andy Dalton anymore, man.
But I'd much rather do it the Bill Parcells way. And if you noticed, every draft he was a part of, he easily trade down to get more players because he understands you have needs, plural. You don't have a need. And I think at times too much credit and too much emphasis is put on the quarterback position. And everybody forgets, oh, yeah, you get Joe Burrow, he's a franchise quarterback, and then you don't have a line to block. So now you got to get them too. And then now you ain't got a defense to stop anybody. So now you got to get so people act like just because you have a franchise piece, you're good. You're not.
Well, you still got to have somebody to build around, though. You got the best O-line in football, but you ain't got a quarterback that can lead your team, then you're going to be screwed.
Well, we really don't see that much. You don't see best O-line in football and terrible team. Like you just don't see it.
I mean, Dallas 2 years ago, they had the best O-line in football. What'd they do?
Okay. Offensively, they were off the charts.
Right. But what'd they do?
Well, they weren't that good.
Exactly, because
they weren't that good. But they still got your franchise quarterback.
But he's young, man. You got to build around him. That's why they're looking so good now.
My argument has always been you need more than that. So I would really, and for me, you can always get a veteran guy that can hold you over 2 or 3 years. And then
okay. So then you are real big on John Gruden right now down in Oakland. You see all the acquisitions they made?
Absolutely.
Boy.
But that's a win now philosophy. Anytime you get guys that have already proven themselves to be players, then it's a win now philosophy.
Hey, man.
Anytime I see a bunch of young guys, then yeah, you may ride a wave. You may have a great year. Ask Jacksonville, didn't they think they had them something? But I mean, you can catch, you can catch fire, you know what I mean, at times, but heck, man, you can't build consistency unless you have a veteran presence. And all the teams that we're used to being really good, if you look at those teams, they're never young. Never.
Yeah. I mean, it's going to take a few years, I think, for Cincinnati to be anywhere close to competing. I mean, I don't know, man. We talk about O-line. You can look at the Browns. They got all the talent in the world, but they can't protect Baker.
I look at Joe Burrow and I see him being having the same career as Andy Dalton. I mean, everybody's ready to say Andy Dalton's terrible, but he's never been terrible. He
wasn't that bad. I agree. I agree with you there. He wasn't that bad.
I don't see Joe Burrow.
I'm with you there.
I don't see Joe Burrow coming in and being nothing but solid. Let's remember here. He got ran out of town by a guy that everybody's poo-pooing on right now. Over in Cleveland. He Baker Mayfield's, he's on his last leg right now already. If he understands the NFL at all, this is his last shot. And his last shot could be the first 5 games, and that could be his career.
Yeah. He's going to be a backup after that for
right.
ever. Chase Daniel style.
Right, absolutely. Hold on for a second.
Well, Cincinnati's going to take Joe Burrow. You ain't even here, but that's okay. Cincinnati's going to take Joe Burrow. Washington's going to take Chase Young. Detroit is going to trade the pick to Miami for Justin Herbert. New York Giants are going to take some offensive tackle. I'm sure it's a kid from Bama. I'm not going to try to pronounce his name. And then the 5th pick is going to be Miami. Jeff Okuda from Ohio State. There's my top 5. We didn't get to discuss it, but hey. So weird, man. Everybody being in their own home, just on Zoom, trying to figure out how to draft. It's crazy.
All right.
I'm over here just talking to myself because we're live, so I don't know how to. What do you do? Just throw out stats and whatnot.
So I mean, you said you're a big draft guy. So who do you have?
I mean, I got
going 2, 3, and 4. Who do my Giants get?
Your Giants are taking. I just said I'm not going to try to pronounce his name, but it's going to be Wills, that offensive tackle. Dude, they got to protect. They got to protect Daniel Jones. They have to.
Right. And
I was not big on the Daniel Jones acquisition last year. When they drafted him, I was like, who and why? And then now, man, I don't know. He's pretty good.
Well, it's a reason why he's pretty good, and it's interesting. But I think before last year, every kid Coach Cutcliffe had coached at Duke until the year before Daniel Jones finished. That quarterback is the only one that wasn't playing on Sunday. Every one of them play on Sunday. So he's a heck of a guy. He's a heck of a coach. He's a heck of a quarterback coach. And you're going to be good in his system, but if you have talent in his system and, you're coachable, you'll be able to move on and play. So that's a little secret out there in the NFL world that people don't realize. If you're going to Duke, you're going to play on Sunday if you're playing the quarterback position.
Oh, man, I wouldn't go that far.
I promise.
No way, man. I can't get behind that.
I mean, all you gotta do, look at David Cutcliffe's guys. And I mean, he's been doing this before Duke too. Obviously, he's been at Duke now for the last, I think, 9-10 years. But so it's been there for a while. But before that, you forget, like, Peyton and Eli go to him every offseason while they were playing. Every offseason. Like, I mean, everybody looks back and, Peyton was supposed to go to Ole Miss like Eli did. There was a reason why he didn't go to Ole Miss. It was David Cutcliffe was at Tennessee.
Hey, here we go. The pick is in. Come on, boo Roger Goodell again. Man, I went to the draft 2 years ago when it was in Dallas. Right. And I put in for tickets on NFL.com and ended up getting 2 tickets.
Wow.
And, me and a buddy went, and dude, it was probably one of the better experiences that I've had at a sporting event. They did great, like, in terms of fan experience and getting you with your team, and like it was pretty cool. But there was no better feeling than, as a Saints fan, to boo Roger Goodell 32 straight times. It was awesome.
What? Oh yeah, because of the missed call the year before. Wow, that's interesting.
Joe Burrow, shocker. Think the whole world saw that one coming, huh?
Yeah, I had seen late on ESPN somehow someone picked Chase what is it? Chase
Chase
Young.
Young.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the defensive end to be one. And I was like, where has he been?
Mm-mm.
And I'm gonna be honest with you. I wouldn't be I think Chase has a ton of question marks.
So do I.
Yeah, like I'm not sold.
Hey, he's a man child though. That dude can move.
He looks the part.
I mean, he
That
plays
don't get
well.
that don't get her done.
But I think he's gonna get. I don't know, man. He may get lost in the NFL.
For him, it's to me the way I look at him is as big and strong as he looks, he plays like just a small, fast guy. Which, with guys like him, he's gonna get tested against the run. That's how you neutralize a pass rusher. You run at him. If he's not able to, play against the run, he's gonna hate life in the NFL because they will run every play at him, every run play. You will get powers and zones and counters all day long, right at him.
Yeah, I don't know, man. What do you think about Joe Burrow playing in the SEC and now being in Cincy?
Well, I don't think he played in the SEC as we generally think of the SEC. They were a pass first team. Let's not even kid about it.
Thank you. I agree.
Yeah. So I don't think it's gonna be a big difference for him. He's used to facing top picks at D line because now all of a sudden he'll see the rest of this fill up with SEC guys that were trying to kill him. So I know that the SEC gets a knock at the quarterback position, but that's going away fairly quickly. There's not even, it's hard to talk about run teams in the SEC now. Even Auburn's doing way more throwing. Alabama obviously abandoned it as soon as when Tua touched ground there.
Man,
they abandoned the run so much so that I think it's ruined who they are.
I can't get behind the Tua. I can't get behind that whole obsession, man. I don't know what's going on with everybody. Maybe I'm weird and maybe I don't see the light, but I just don't see it. I don't see it.
Well, I'm gonna tell you like this: if Kyler Murray is having success, I don't see why he won't.
That's true. That's a good point.
So that's what I'm gonna throw out there.
Hey, that's a good point, man. That's a good point. I have that question written down here. Tua. It just says Tua ? I don't know, man. Where's he gonna go?
I think a team that already has a guy should get him. And I think because the argument with him has been that he wasn't
Healthy, right?
health wise, but feel wise, he wasn't running a pro style offense. That Sarkisian couldn't try to run a pro style offense, he couldn't do it, so he had to run RPO, which he's not going to be able to do in the NFL. That RPO is out.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
So I think a year, maybe two behind somebody. I still think that's the way it should be done at the quarterback position.
I agree, 100%. I don't think you should be a rookie coming in starting. I think that does you a disservice.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I'm a huge Good Morning Football fan, so I like to wake up every morning. I get my daughter up and I watch Good Morning Football. That's what I do, and so I'm big onto those guys and what they talk about and what they see. So I looked up one of their mock drafts this morning, and this is from Peter Schrager, and he has Tua Tagovailoa going 16th to Jacksonville in a trade. So we'll see. I didn't have Tua in my own personal draft. I didn't have him going that high. I had him a lot later in the first round, maybe even falling to the second because I don't think he's healthy, and one, I just don't think he's that good. But
wow.
I know, man. I know.
But see, in Jacksonville, he'd have to play now. I wouldn't want him there.
Why? He don't have to play now. Gardner Minshew's there.
Who?
Come on, man. You're a Florida guy. You got to believe. Believe in the mustache.
Okay.
Because they traded Foles to Chicago, right?
Oh, that just happened.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Gardner Minshew, he's the future of the Jacksonville Jaguars franchise.
Okay.
Hey,
Well,
I'm
they've done that, what, 4 or 5 years in a row, drafted the future. That's why I'm telling you, man, that quarterback mess, that's for, like, if I were a GM, I could never, and unless it's a for sure, like a Cam, like a Peyton, like an Andrew Luck, I couldn't hang my hat on none of these guys.
Yeah.
I'm telling you.
I mean, they think Joe Burrow's just as good as Luck and Cam.
Yeah, are you serious?
I don't.
No. Here, this is what you got, and this is why I call those names out, right? I look at guys as for sures when they won games. Like Auburn, if you look at Auburn's year with Cam, like maybe what they play 14 games, maybe 10 out of the 14 games that year were toss-ups. And it was one difference maker out there that changed the course of every one of those games, including the national championship he played in. Like, it's crazy. So, and then when you look at Peyton, who wasn't even able to ever beat Florida, but you look at those games, man, and it was like, this dude is special.
Yeah.
Joe Burrow has 2 of the best receivers in football that played college with him. That will be 2 of the best, be 2 of the NFL greats at receiver. They have that kind of potential, and opportunities. Both of the guys that he just played with. And then he had a tight end that's great. And Randy Moss's son. I looked at LSU and thought about them more than I thought about Joe Burrow. What Joe Burrow finally did for LSU is what we've always known at LSU. They got players all over everywhere except for a quarterback.
Yeah. That's for sure.
And then
Jefferson, he's a bad man.
And then let's think about this, right? This wasn't Joe Burrow first year playing at LSU.
No.
Nobody talks about that, but every lick of film, every time they pull his name up, they show this season.
Hey. Chase Young, number 2.
Yeah.
First 2 were a lock. This third pick is going to be tricky.
It's going to be sad for whoever it is.
Yeah. It's going to be tricky, man. I got Justin Herbert going, but not to the Lions.
When you look at these teams, man, that are drafting early, there's one consistent theme that they all lack, and that's culture.
Yeah.
You look at the Bengals and you say, what kind of locker room is that? You look at Washington, you say the same thing. Look at the Lions and you say, who? They're still playing football. Are they? Really? You look at New York and you see that, a GM came in there a few years ago and really blew the team up. And I thought it was way too soon, but that's what he did. And he sent a lot of guys that were culture guys in that locker room. He sent them packing. And you see they're pulling at straws. They're grasping at straws right now. You just start looking at these teams and I'm looking and you go New York, you go, Miami, you say, San Diego, and you're like, man, like, there's a reason none of these teams are playing for anything.
Hey, man, San Diego was pretty dadgum good last year.
Yeah.
Why didn't they win? Exactly.
I don't know. And I'm not sure it was Phillip Rivers either.
No, they were great on offense. They were great on offense, great on defense. They should have won. They should have won more games in the postseason.
Right.
Blows my mind.
I think.
What do you think about? What do you think about Redskins' new coach from Carolina?
I mean, I can only look back at Carolina and what they were able to do. I mean, they're always solid, but they were never good. They were never great. You never went into games like Carolina's going to easily win this game. I think that has a lot to do with culture, man. I played on a team that, my first year, my rookie year, we went to the Super Bowl. And in that locker room, it was no nonsense. And you were playing for the guy next to you. Like, honestly, like that's what you were thinking about. When you missed a play or missed a tackle or missed a block, you thought about, man, when I go back in that room.
Yeah.
I let all the guys next to me down. That's culture, man. And I'm looking at these teams and I'm like, man, they don't jump out at me. You don't see nobody jump out at you until 13 with San Francisco.
Yeah. I mean, Atlanta, they used to be.
Right. You can say Atlanta too. That's a quarterback guy that, man, he stayed above the fray somehow, some way, and nobody's ever dumped on him.
Yeah.
And it's like he's $100 million guy that's mediocre when it comes to winning. Like he's able to post elite numbers, but he's mediocre in the winning column.
See, that is where stats don't always mean everything. Because you can be, just like the Chargers, you can be the greatest offense and defense in the league, but stats ain't going to win you football games.
That's what, and that's what I was saying, when we had a little discussion about Dak in the beginning. Like, that's why I said, it seems like some guys are able to be Dak and still get paid.
That's exactly right.
And then nobody dump on him. You don't even talk about Matty Ice. Nobody even discusses him. You talk about Atlanta, the only guy you talk about is Julio Jones for some reason.
Hey, man.
He's out there throwing to himself.
Julio is, man, I love Julio Jones. I feel like he's a selfless, he just wants to win, man, and he can't catch a break.
Hey, man.
Oh, they didn't trade it. They took him. Whoa, I thought for sure they were going to trade it to the Dolphins.
Wow. Look at this, though. 2 Ohio State guys out the gate.
How you say his name?
Okuda? Okuda? Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, it's interesting.
Wow, man, I thought for sure they were going to trade that pick. Thought for sure. So, what you got on the Patriots, man, now that Tom Brady's gone? Jarrett Stidham is their current quarterback.
It's a great culture there, and it's always a veteran presence. I think they have their entire defense under contract for the next 2 seasons.
Well, they just traded away. They just traded away their middle linebacker.
Oh, okay, that's fine.
What's his name? Oh, what was his name? Dadgummit. Kyle Van Noy.
But Belichick, he's a master at that. He understands that you always got to replace. And if you notice, like, guys on their team still look like Mike Vrabel. They still look like Willie McGinnis. You know what I mean? Like, the guys changed jersey numbers and back of their names changed, but it looks like the same guys are out there because he has a system, and it goes all the way back to him being a Bill Parcells understudy in New York, under that 3-4 defense. And if you look, he's done nothing but regurgitate that. And these guys are the same guys. They just come from different schools and they're different people. And they're just, another spoke in the wheel. It works, man. So I think Brady's gonna be easy to replace. And I know that's gonna shock everyone, but I really think it is. Only because
you got me skeptical now. You talk about the
watch this
of all time.
But we say that, but there's no signature throws.
I mean,
it's
have
just
that man hold up his hands.
I listen. I'm not gonna argue with history. I'm not gonna argue with his legacy. I'm just gonna tell you, every quarterback that you'll talk about, there are signature plays that they made that you're like, wow.
Yeah, he ain't got any. He's got wins.
And so I've always been like this, not just with Brady, with a lot of players. I wonder if he played in this system, would he be good? I wonder if he played in that system.
Hey, we're about to find out.
Right, but that's what I always looked at, like with different, right? Like I played with Ron Dane, right?
Yeah.
And I thought our system was horrible for him. Our coach was Sean Payton. What kind of backs go to New Orleans?
Versatile.
Not big bruisers.
Fast.
Not big bruisers.
Nope.
Right. So I remember getting there in New York, and we're running a bunch of zones and counters and toss sweeps, and I'm like, we got Ron Dane back here. So all of a sudden, Tiki Barber was on his way out the door. They drafted Ron to replace him. All of a sudden, there's a resurgence of Tiki Barber, and he hits it and runs. And what ends up happening is Ron plays there for 3 more years, and then he's out the door. So I've always looked at, situations like, man, the system, like what would he have done in a different system?
Yeah, I mean, you know me, man. I'm a make the system fit who you got guy. I'm not
Right.
a pull a guy in and inform him to your system. So you got to adapt to the guys that you have, man. You can't just go get a guy and say, oh, he's an athlete. Yeah, but you gotta change your ways to adapt to him, to make him the best possible athlete he can be. You got to change your ways.
Right. Well, yeah, I think, and that's why I'm a huge Belichick guy when it comes to systems. Like, he only puts guys in those systems that fit. If they don't, they get gone.
Hey, man, and it's bizarre too, because he picks up some of these guys that I've never even heard of.
Right.
And I'm like, who is this guy and where'd he come from? And how did he even get here? How did he even make the cut? And now he's on the field. What?
He's a do your job type of coach. I've always appreciated those coaches because they have confidence in their system to the point where they're like, if he does what he's supposed to do 1 through 11, we're going to win that play.
Yeah.
And those are the best guys to play for. The worst guys to play for is guys that are uncertain about their system to the point where you got to defeat another guy and make the play. Or if you defeat a guy, miss the play, then they're all on you. And it's like, huh? Like, I made a play just getting off of him. But see, those are the guys that their scheme isn't sound. It isn't solid. And so, they're hard to play for because you're going to be wrong no matter what. And I'm sure you've been around coaches like that, where the player is always wrong no matter what happens.
Yeah. Man, yeah. It's a weird world, man. It's a weird world of football whenever you see stuff that the coach that's there can't see. But I've been there, like, I've been kicked out of meetings, and I've been like, like confused in parts, and I'm like, I see this. This is what I see, and then some other much smarter than me coach will be like, "You're an idiot. This is what's going on, and this is why." I'm like, "Oh, weird. Why could I not see that?"
Oh wow.
But so yeah, man, we'll see what happens. I'm interested to see how Belichick does and how Brady does outside of each other. It's been so long. I mean, half my life, man, he's been playing in the same spot.
I mean, it's definitely one of those things that, you know, I mean, it's NFL, man. It's
right.
It's how was he there that long? You know, everybody forgets Peyton Manning got you know, well, I don't remember if it was a trade or they said, okay, we're done. You know, but you know, it happened to Peyton, it happened to Joe Montana. You know what I mean? Like it happens, man.
Right.
If you play long enough, it should happen.
Yeah,
you know,
that's true, yeah.
I mean, it happened to Kurt Warner in St. Louis, and we didn't even know who the Rams were since Eric Dickerson had left.
That's true
We didn't know
too.
if you were born then.
Yeah.
We didn't know who St. Louis was, and then all of a sudden, you know, here comes Kurt Warner, wins them a few Super Bowls, make them the greatest show on turf, and they got rid of him too. Like it happens, man.
That was back in the days of Marshall Faulk and Isaac Bruce.
I played against them, man.
Oh my gosh, man, that's wild.
It really was the greatest show on turf. Like we were playing football, they were playing basketball. To the point that was the first time Isaac Bruce was one of the first receivers that were catching balls and hitting the ground. Catch, drop to the ground. Get up laughing, throw the ball to the referee, line back up. Let's do it again. Like laughing the entire game. Like, y'all ain't gonna touch me. Yeah.
That's crazy. Here's your Giants, man. Their pick is in. Who they gonna go with?
Andrew Thomas.
You think so?
I know so. They already did it.
Oh, what? Am I behind?
Yeah, you behind.
Oh, man.
Georgia.
Oh, yeah, there it is.
Offensive tackle, Georgia. So you were right. They
went on that one too, man.
Well, you were right. They went with an offensive lineman. I don't think you named him, but
no, I got the wrong one.
Well, it doesn't matter. Like, it's a need game. Like,
yeah.
You know, obviously they thought he was better than the guy you were talking about for whatever reason.
Well, I had Andrew Thomas going to Cleveland at number 10. So
okay.
Now that's probably going to be Will's.
I know a lot of times these early picks come down to versatility as well. Meaning, like, if they don't work out, like this guy, obviously being a 4 pick, he's going to be a left tackle. But if he doesn't work out, he's shown he can play the heck out of right tackle as well.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, there he is.
Right.
Yeah. That makes more sense. That's a big man.
So a lot of times when you're a one-trick pony, man, it hurts you. I tell you what, man, one of the first things that I learned when I got there is seriously the more you can do. Especially, you know, these first day guys, they traditionally don't have to worry about that. They traditionally are going to have to, you know, they're gonna get every opportunity to fail at whatever these positions you see right now. And I do mean it that way. They will get every opportunity to fail because it's so much money tied into these early picks that they will give up on them in 1, 2, or 3 years. It just doesn't happen.
Yep. These guys, how do I be one of these guys? Cool office like that, stuff behind me all perfectly squared up. Look at that. Nice suit and tie. We should have done that. We should have gotten a suit and tie and had our offices all squared up.
My office is squared up. Real food for real athletes.
I can't get that to work on mine, man. I'd completely disappear.
Well, I kind of did too.
Yeah,
It's like the one side of my head
yeah.
somehow doesn't work. Yeah, and the light makes it even worse.
Yep. Man, when I was at IMG Academy for the combine down there in 2013, and they sent these kids these boxes, Under Armour sent them boxes of combine gear.
Yeah.
Dude, it was some of the coolest unboxing, like some of the coolest shoes and shirts and gear. And some of those kids were like, nah, I don't wear Under Armour. And they took them out of the box and just left them on the field for like, hey, whatever, interns, whoever wants to go get them, like, go get them. Like, I'm not wearing these. I don't wear that. And so, of course, I'm, 20 years old. I'm an intern. And I'm like, hey, if you think I'm not about to go get some of those cleats, you're wrong. I'm going to get some of those cleats.
Yeah.
So I was playing catch with Geno Smith, and I was like, hang on, man. Like, I got to go get some of this. And he was like, no, you can have mine, man. I'm not going to wear them. I don't wear Under Armour. So I got Geno Smith's cleats in my closet. And man, I was hoping that dude would pan out. I was like, man, if he gets famous and he gets really good, like, this could be super cool. Yeah, well, here we are.
Well, yeah, you never know, man, especially at that position when
He was hot. He was hot coming out of college. West Virginia set some records, was throwing, 100 passes a game. No. Didn't quite make it.
Yeah, man.
Justin Herbert, that man is looking terrible. He is bored.
So when are he's projected?
Let's see here. Mr. Peter Schrager had him going third with that trade to the Dolphins from Detroit. So probably fifth, probably now. You'll have to tell me when the pick is in because you're about 30 seconds ahead of me.
Yeah. Yeah, I get to beat you to everything. You're like, Andrew Thomas, who is that?
Like, hey, what?
Oh yeah. I should have kept going with it. Like I knew something for real.
Yeah, you should have. You should be like, yes, Andrew Thomas. Oh yeah, check this out.
Yeah. I'm
calling all of these. I got the whole thing matched up. I know it.
You'd have been like, meet me in Vegas now.
Like, man.
Forget Corona. Meet me in Vegas now. We about to go break them.
Who is? Oh man, shot my pen. Who is your like go-to sports analyst guy? Your go-to guy that you like trust. You don't want to hear none of that garbage. Just who's your sports guy?
Oh man, I'm sorry. Nobody.
No, just yourself.
So, and you'll get this from most former pro athletes.
I have heard it a couple of times.
Have no idea what they're talking about, and I'm so sorry.
Yeah, that's okay.
Like, yeah. Most of them have no idea. Now, if you're saying like with trades and all this backroom talk that's going on, like the run-of-the-mill guys that come out with the reports, okay, like I'm with them. But like analysis, man, you'll see every guy, former pro guy, especially if linebackers, we have a unique perspective because we play against everybody, and like we're concerned if the secondary is good. So we kind of judge everybody, which is a lot different from most positions.
Yeah.
So like when it comes to like these guys being picked or guys like, Mel Kiper and them, like you honestly wonder like, okay, Mel, where'd you get that from? And like what makes him who you think he is? Like it's weird because you'll look at a guy yourself and evaluate him and you're like, No, he's really good. He's not lacking what you're talking about. Like
Dude.
what you don't realize is on this play that you're saying is showing where he's lacking is that say the center missed his block and the guard had this hold for a half his count and then go. And you're talking about he has trouble reading second level blocks. And I'm like, no, that center just screwed him.
Yeah. That happens a lot more than people see and than people know. And man, that's something a lot of people that just from a surface level look at football and they're watching football and they're like, man, I don't understand why they just run up the middle every time. I don't get it.
Right, yeah.
It's so stupid. And you're like, I'm not going to sit here and have time to talk to you about that. And I mean, that was me, like, not like that, obviously, from that much of a surface level, but like in terms of passing game concepts and why outside backers and safeties are doing what they're doing, I didn't know, but probably a fourth of what some coaches know and see until I was at the school that I was at prior. Man, that OC and head coach and passing game coordinator taught me so much. And I didn't say anything. I just sat there and listened and wrote everything down and took dude, I'm talking, those guys were on another level of like watching film and understanding why they're doing what they're doing. And it's, dude, I know y'all don't do that out in Florida. Y'all just throw a ball out there and go for it.
I'm sitting there thinking, boy, they wasted a lot of time. That's because at the NFL level, it's the same way. Like you're putting a dude that can get it done out there. The way we play it here,
I know what to look for.
Yeah, the way we play it here is actually closer to the way they play it in the league. Like you just put a great defense out there I put a great defense out there against you, and you're still gonna throw it to that guy. Like that's what we do here. Like I'm still gonna throw it there. Like it doesn't matter.
That's like DeAndre Hopkins. I don't care who's around him. I'm gonna throw it to him.
You see what I'm saying? It still happens that way.
Right.
Like it doesn't matter. Okay, yeah, you got a safety over the top. Cool. Like so
we do the same thing when we got like cat daddies, but like you gotta still know what they're doing so you can call certain plays and certain schemes in order to, manipulate the defense.
Yo, you got certain guys in the NFL. See, here's the thing. We assume that everybody in the league is doing that. They're not. They're not.
Yeah,
what do you think? Okay,
tell me those guys got analysts and analytic data for days. You can't tell me they don't know what's going on.
All right, I'm gonna give you a perfect example. Tennessee was struggling. What happened?
They adjusted.
And what was the adjustment?
Give the freaking ball to Derrick Henry.
And run leads. Something we haven't seen in the NFL in what, 6 years, 7 years? They ran lead right, lead left, like with a fullback. Isolations, like downhill.
But you also have a lot of different play action off that with Tannehill, throwing little check downs, little dumps, all sorts of stuff. I mean, they adjusted to a lot more than just giving the ball to Derrick Henry.
Yeah, that's what. Okay, but it's something you would have did without all of that stuff.
Well, yeah.
No. Let's think of it.
When you got a dude like Derrick Henry, you give him the football. He's gonna make plays, but you still got to tell the guys that are around him what to do.
What year is this for him? 4th, 3rd,
something like that.
Oh, and we just figured that out.
Hey. Yeah, but the first year he had what, DeMarco Murray in front of him?
Again, we just figured that out.
I mean,
what? He just figured out how to run?
I mean, he was a beast at Alabama.
Right. He came in that way.
Yeah.
And then naturally,
just maybe it took him a few years to understand gap schemes and where his vision should be. You just don't know. Don't know.
Running backs do not read like that. Very few of them do.
Bull.
Very few of them.
Baloney. I don't know. I can't
Very
get
few
on that one.
Very few of them.
Baloney.
Yeah.
You know, man, running backs have vision all the time. They got to know where they're going.
But you just said they're reading gap scheme, and which means they're looking at 3 techniques and 5s and 7s and 9s and making moves off. They're not. They're running the daylight.
You're gonna tell me?
Yeah.
You're gonna tell me that a running back standing in the 7 yards off the quarterback ain't looking at the defensive line, making their shifts and doing all sorts of stuff. So on inside zone, he can go backside A, he can go front side, or he can go all the way and bounce it. You telling me those running backs ain't looking at that?
Let me tell you why. There's very few of them there. Marshall Faulk's one of the few. Okay. Let me tell you why. Because on the snap of the football, all that changes.
Like, yeah, based on alignment.
So all that changes because somebody gets beat, somebody gets reached. You know what I mean? Both ways. Like,
but I'm just saying,
you're running to your feeling.
Right. I mean, your hole is gonna move. It ain't gonna just stay. The A gap ain't gonna stay in the A gap.
And the only reason I know that is because we got too many kill shots on him, which meant he never saw it coming. They're not gonna take shots. You know what other running back who read that? Emmitt Smith. You never got kill shots on. Like, that's how we knew. If you can kill a back, he's not looking at that stuff. He really thinks that hole is open, and I'm gonna kill him when he get there.
If that's really how it is, then they should be better.
Call it. Again, man. People, if you talk to pros, they will tell you spend way too much time on stuff that don't matter. It sounds good. And I could sit there and come into, the meetings with you guys in Texas and talk the talk and still tell you none of this matters.
But it does, though. Maybe not all of it, obviously, because once you get in the game, I mean, half of what you wrote down you're going to scrap anyways.
Yep.
But I'm saying you have to have some kind of game plan going in to get your kids to be the best they can be. You can't just roll up in there and be like, here we go.
So watch this year, and we've never even had this conversation. So what happens is in the NFL every week. So who's your team? Is Dallas your team?
Heck no, I'm not a Dallas fan. I'm a Saints fan.
Okay, the Saints. Okay, whatever they struggle with the week before offensively, whatever blitz they were struggling couldn't fix. Watch what they get the very next week. Same one, identical. Whatever you struggle with stopping on defense, you're going to see the same thing the next week.
Well, yeah, because based on film, that's why you look at your film and you take what you're bad at and you adjust and you work on it.
But it's that simple. That's what I'm trying to get to you. That's the only point I'm trying to drive. So
yeah, you can't just do
that's what happens.
You can't just do that, though. Because you got to go back and look at what they have done before. Because once they figure out that, what this team was doing last week to them that was hurting them, well, they adjusted. They ain't working well So
you still have
before that.
You still have what you do already, but until they show you they can actually stop that, then you're going to see it every week.
Well, yeah, that's why you got to show you can stop it. But then you got to know what they're going to come with next, what they have run, and what their blitz packages are.
I thought you were still talking offensively.
Yeah, from my perspective, from the offense.
Okay. All right, so you're saying the stuff that we saw get stopped last week, or you guys struggled with last week, this week, you're going to stop being weak in that area, and then you'll still be able to do your regular stuff, which we already know that you want to do anyway.
Yeah.
It's that simple, though. That's all. I'm not saying it's going to get stopped or you won't actually beat it this time. I'm just saying it's that simple, though. That's the only point I'm driving, because you have an answer for everything and you're right. That's what I'm telling you. I haven't told you you're wrong yet. You're right about it, but that's how simple it is.
It's not that simple. It's not that simple. You got to spend hours trying to figure out exactly what's going on.
Hey, we missed two. We've been into it so long. We missed two picks. Tua going to Miami, and your boy Justin.
Yeah, I saw Tua go. I texted a buddy of mine because he's an Alabama fan, and he was for sure that was going to happen. They were going to be good at it, and I was really, really hating on Tua, and I'm actually a little bitter that he went top 10. I'm a little bitter, but I feel like Justin Herbert is also not very good, but
So who is Tua playing behind, or will he play immediately?
Fitzpatrick
Okay,
and Josh Rosen.
that's a great opportunity for him. Sit him for 2 years.
Yeah.
Let him sit down for 2 years.
I mean, you have plenty of experience out of Fitzpatrick. Plenty of experience out of Fitzpatrick to teach both of those guys. I mean, Josh Rosen now, he's already in his second team. So he's on a downhill spiral. But
I mean,
Fitzmagic, man, he's been everywhere.
That's horrible because that tells you that Miami doesn't even believe in him. And Josh Rosen as well.
Yep.
Pulling this guy right behind him.
Shoot. And then you got Justin Herbert going to San Diego, which is probably good. Close to home for him.
So how do you like Cam Newton there? I mean, and with the Rams. Chargers. LA Chargers.
Did he get traded out there? Did he get
No.
Oh, okay.
No.
I was like, wait a minute, what did I miss?
Nope.
No. I don't know, man. I think Cam's day is done.
Really?
I really do. I think he struggles to throw the ball downfield. I really do.
Well, he did because he was hurt.
You're
He
right.
got a cannon.
He's going to have to start, though. I think he's going to be ginger on it. I think he's going to be trying to protect everything that he's not going to be the same Cam.
I don't know this, but I'm just saying he had a year to recover.
That is true.
Which is different. So I don't know if that means the shoulder's fixed. So I'm not arguing that point. I'm just saying he never had that problem. He only had it because he tried to play hurt.
Right.
In the NFL, that's the worst thing you can do because if you go run on the field, you're 100%. Right. Trust me, that's how we see it. And so now automatically you're like, he's struggling to throw the ball down the field. Well, he did. He did. You know what I mean? Because he was hurt. But you are absolutely correct.
Yeah, I don't know, man. How he recovers is gonna tell a lot.
It's interesting to me though, how in a league that struggles mightily in that position, how a guy like him isn't picked up the second
now. Yeah, I agree.
He becomes available. And then we'll sit here and we're looking at 3 quarterbacks off the board.
Yeah.
Like first 6 picks, but yet there's a NFL MVP.
Right. That has walked the walk and talked the talk and been in the dance.
What? And he was MVP 2 years ago or 3 years ago?
Three. I thought it was a little longer than that, 3 or 4, wasn't it?
Oh, okay. Let's see. But yeah, so interesting, man.
Yeah, I don't know, man. His recovery should tell a lot, but I mean, what do you think about the Colts taking Phillip Rivers when they got Jacoby Brissett? Where's he gonna go? Or are they gonna sit him?
Oh, he's done. I mean, Jacoby Brissett, he'll be a backup, but Phillips their guy.
Yeah.
And
crazy.
Phillips always been his numbers match up with everybody.
Not that either, yeah. I mean, he has no issue with anybody.
So I mean, I like Phillip Rivers. I really think he's been a great quarterback in the NFL.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody doesn't win, man.
Yeah.
And we shouldn't bash him for not winning. Oh, it's 2015.
2015.
4 years ago. Yeah, you said 3 or 4.
Dude, how you like Teddy out there in Carolina with Matt Rule?
I mean, I would have thought Teddy would have been a better fit in a New England.
Really?
I would have thought Teddy would have been a much better fit in Tampa. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not, like, he's going to have to do too much in Carolina. Like, people forget, like, Cam carried them. And then he finally got help with McCaffrey. Like, but it was Cam's everything.
Whoa. Hey, Peter Schrager, you're on. You're on pace with that one, bud. Derek Brown from Auburn.
Oh, that was that big house that knows, right?
Monster.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, man. I don't know. I like Matt Rule. I got to obviously I'm in Dallas, so like I get to see every Baylor game that's on TV. But I kind of liked it. It was kind of fun to watch. So I'm hoping, I know he has an O-line background too, so I'm kind of hoping that he can revolutionize the way that they use Christian McCaffrey.
So first of all, I want to make sure I'm talking about the right guy. Is he the Minnesota guy?
Matt Rule?
Yeah.
No,
Head coach at Minnesota.
Uh-uh.
Went and turned their program around. Who was that?
That's PJ Fleck.
You sure? Because there was a guy there first.
I'm not sure on that.
And then, remember, he got sick or something. And went out of it and then came back. Oh, yeah, you're right. So that's not him.
Yeah, Matt Rule. Matt Rule was in the NFL for a while as an assistant. And then
said he was at Temple and then Baylor.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's been around there a while. But interesting. Okay. Yeah, I don't know what to expect. I mean, you ride a ship like Baylor's that was, I think maybe they're following the same logic that they gave Bill O'Brien and Penn State.
They were bad off, and he turned it around to make them great.
Well, they were, I don't know about great.
I mean, comparatively.
They lost the games we thought they'd lose. Like Oklahoma and who else they lost to? They lost 2 in the Big 12.
Yeah, I mean, Oklahoma, what was it? TCU?
No, maybe.
I can't remember.
So we're talking NFL because I was wondering, what's going on with Texas as far as like, their savior. What is his name? The Texas coach that came from Houston?
Oh, I don't know, man. I hate the Texas Longhorns just not with anything else.
Okay.
So I don't keep up with them at all.
Okay.
I think they should just – I'm a big-time horns down guy.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. That's okay, though. But, yeah, Cardinals, man, let's talk Cliff Kingsbury.
Whew. Hot, new, did a good job last year, I guess.
Yeah.
A lot of expectations. You get to hide behind that for a while.
Yep.
I thought Kyler Murray had a really good year.
I do too, yes.
I think he had the most to overcome in the department of too small, not strong enough to last NFL season. Can't see over the offensive line, have to get him out of the pocket every time. And he actually showed us he could stand in there and do it.
Who'd they pick? I know you can see it already.
Isaiah Simmons.
Hey, linebacker, safety type guy.
So I'm really cool with a Clemson nut, and I told him that if he doesn't play in that hybrid position, he's gonna be a bust.
Really? I mean, I think he's just gonna go safety.
Well, but see, when I say I see him as being a Troy Polamalu.
Oh, yeah. You're
So
talking
you're
run,
saying
big time run support safety.
strictly safety? No.
Right.
He has to play safety sometimes. He needs
Backer.
to
He can,
come
yeah,
in
I
the
got you.
slot, come play backer, and get on the line and rush the passer.
Yeah, I got you.
Unless he's doing that stuff, like to put him at backer, they're gonna kill him. He won't make it.
Yeah.
Playing backer.
Use your strengths, right?
Yeah. But he's a heck of a athlete, and I think you need to use him as such.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
He's a oversized Tyrann Matthew that may be way more athletic.
The honey badger.
Which is tough.
Man.
Which is tough to say. But
speaking of Tyrann Matthew, man, what the heck is going on in Houston?
I just mentioned Bill O'Brien. You should have said it then.
I know, man. I don't know what Tyrann Matthew made me think of that. He's on the Chiefs now, but what is happening?
I think he's trying to hit reset and start all over. I think he feels like what they have can't get them any better. So he needs to make changes. But I don't think he realizes that he's adding more pressure to his best player, which is, DeAndre Watson.
Hopkins. Yeah.
No, actually, what's the quarterback name?
Oh, Watson?
Watson. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's all they got now.
That's what I'm saying. So now you just got rid of guys and you put more pressure on him. Yeah. You didn't listen it. So I don't understand his logic. And then you go get a average receiver. But basically, man, when coaches make moves like that, that's when I say, man, you're still a college coach. Yeah. Because you can't manage personalities. And in college, right, when you can't manage a personality, you bench a guy.
Right.
You know what I mean? You go bury him. Right. And you try to put him in a position that he, transfers. But in the NFL, you can't do that. So you trade him.
Yep.
So now, you can't be blamed. Your success won't be blamed on the fact that he's not playing, or lack of success rather. Won't be blamed on that. But now you just put a ton of stress on your quarterback, and your quarterback spoke out about it.
Right.
Critically.
Yeah. But he took away my number one target, my outlet, my safety. Like, you took him away from me.
Right. And then you didn't give me like a monster at running back or anything for him. Like,
right.
You replaced him with an average guy.
Yeah, he's gonna be. Yeah, Deshaun Watson. Man. I feel so bad for him because I think he could be so good.
So I mean, it's gonna be interesting. Yeah, I just think that's Bill and that's attitudes, man.
That's right.
Attitudes. And college coaches always struggle with that. So that's why when you said Matt Rule, I'm wondering, but he's had a ton of experience in the NFL, which makes him different.
Under some pretty dadgum good head coaches.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
But generally college coaches struggle with control.
Yeah.
Like, guys will walk up to you and say, Bill, what's going on? Like, that's different. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like,
right. I mean, it's a
different monster. Like, nobody like when you jump bad on a guy, he might jump back bad on you.
Right. Yeah, so right. How you handle that?
Yeah. That's why you got to manage personalities. And one of the worst things coaches from colleges do is they don't understand every player ain't equal.
Yeah, right. Oh man, yeah.
They aren't.
No, not even close. And you can't coach them the same either.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah, man. I worked for a head coach that he treated everybody exactly the same, and it didn't matter who you were, how you were, what you did, how you acted, what you thought. You were getting treated exactly the same as everybody else. And man, he had so many guys shutting down on him and like not playing the way they could be playing.
Right.
I get to a different program, and it's the head coach is totally different. He's a program guy through and through. And dude, I'm talking, he has a kid that's going Power 5 now, and then he has kids that are just garbage. And
Right.
dude, he knows exactly how to coach each individual kid that's going to get them like out of their funk or out of their head or whatever it is. I think that's, man, that is a trait that is, I don't know if you can teach that.
That's important.
Yeah.
You know, it's interesting though to note that in building a culture, I've been interviewing a lot of college coaches and NFL guys as well, and it's interesting to know that at an NFL level, they're still trying to do that. The same thing as college coaches, they're really trying to bring guys in that are team first guys that are self-motivators, self-starters. And it's so funny to me because I've always thought that was my biggest knock as a coach. I was like, I can't motivate nobody. Like it actually, so all the rah, win one for the Gipper stuff pregame.
Yeah.
All that stuff. Oh, that was a joke to me as a player. Like honestly, I would sit like this where coaches would do that. And I'm like, man, that's gonna last all until he get bust in his mouth. Then I want to see what that speech did.
Yeah.
I was just like, you gotta want to destroy the dude in front of you. Just cause.
Yeah, it's a mindset, man. There's no doubt about that.
Just so it gives you a warm and fuzzy feeling inside. And if that's not you, I don't want you.
Yeah, right.
If I'm at the collegiate level or the pro level, and I don't believe that's something you can put in guys, and somehow they believe that a lot.
Yeah, man, it's gonna be interesting to see some of these college coaches that are climbing up the ranks. Throughout the years, they always have their first year, and you don't really hear much. But we'll see how that goes. Here we go, Jacksonville Jaguars. Who'd they pick?
C.J. Henderson.
Cornerback from Florida. Yeah. Jaguars Nation, are you happy?
They happy with anything, man.
They don't care. They don't even know.
Yeah. Hey, the Jaguar fans are fun, man. They're a fun bunch. They know they're terrible and they're okay with it. But we'll be back next week.
Man.
So you see their linebacker, I think it's a linebacker or defensive end, was beefing with Shad Khan's son. So the owner's son is really involved in the football business side, which is
okay.
Yeah.
I don't like that.
I mean, Jerry Jones does it as well.
I don't like that either.
Right. But he's some like computer guy that, obviously he's trying to do the
data analytics.
Yeah, the analytics to the hilt. I'm always, and that, so I want to learn so much more about analytics just to see if it works. But here's my opinion. It can't work. When you get hit in the mouth, that you can't account for that. Like you can't. Again, me playing linebacker, I think of football completely differently. Like people are like, oh, look at him. He's catching here. He's doing that. Or he's running here. He's doing that. And I'm like, let's see what they do when I hit him in the mouth. Like, that's what I'm thinking. Like when he take a shot, If he get up, run back to the huddle, and come out and do the same thing, okay, you got you something. If that,
You are such a defensive guy, man.
yeah,
You are such a defensive guy. Oh, well, you know what? I'll hit him, put him in the ground. He won't do it again.
we'll see. Honestly, that's that. And then if he does it again, okay, we got ourselves a player. You know, he's a player. But believe it or not, they're few and far between.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Believe
Man.
it or not. Listen, I played at a high school and a college level against guys that were supposed to be, and you catch them right, they will shut it down. There are dudes in the league that our coaching point on them was hit him early, he'll pack it in. That's on the scouting report.
That's wrong.
Like, so this ain't something that I'm just making up. Like,
believe me, hey, I wrote up some scouting reports that is the same way. Soft as a pillow. I put on one of them.
Yeah.
Does not like contact.
Yeah. Yeah. So I mean, man, as a linebacker, you're like, so, and then there's some guys like, man, you better bring your lunch with you today, boy. He thrives on contact. You hit him and he ready to play then. He ain't ready to play till he get hit.
Right, exactly right.
Hey, it's like be nice to him, tackle him. Tell him he's doing a good job.
10th pick. Who'd they pick?
Oh man, I just got off of it. Let's see. This is our last and final pick.
This is it, man.
10th pick is. I got the last one and I ain't even getting this. The last two ain't up.
Jedrick Wills. There we go. I knew that was going to happen. I got the 4th and the 10th pick backwards.
Oh, okay. So that was your guy.
That was my guy.
Well, man.
Shoot.
I think we gave him enough.
Oh, man. I think we did too.
Gave him enough commentary. Well, man, I had fun tonight. I usually don't do draft stuff.
Yeah, I'm big into the draft, but I usually just kind of keep it all to myself, you know.
Okay.
Well, awesome, man. Well, awesome, man. Appreciate it.
All right. Thanks a bunch.